All right, 65 hours later, I have actually almost completed 100% of the Pokédex in Pokemon Violet. Let's talk about these games again. Same old, you know the drill. I cannot show my own footage because Nintendo will take this video down as the game is not officially released. I will not be talking about spoilers, so just go into this video knowing all that. I'll be using official trailers for my footage. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media. If you are new here, please consider subscribing for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. I'll be posting a ton of tutorials and helpful guides on release day, as well as live streaming the game, doing shiny hunts, all that fun stuff. So if you are not subscribed, please do so. I want to do a follow-up video to my impressions video now that I've beaten the game and actually do more of a proper review. There's a lot to get into, a lot of negatives, a lot of positives, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I really like these games. Hot take, I don't like them as much as Legends Arceus, and I think there's going to be a lot of comparisons made to that game in this video. Legends Arceus was the most fun I've had with a new Pokemon game since X and Y, probably. And I really enjoyed X and Y. I know that's also a hot take. Legends Arceus did a lot of exciting new things, namely the catching. I really liked, for an open world setting especially, the catching mechanics introduced in Legends Arceus were really good. So to go from Legends Arceus catching to regular Pokemon battles and catching in an open world game with Scarlet and Violet, it's a little jarring. I don't hate it, but I do prefer Legends Arceus. Overall, I think that game also just has a better story and it just has better progression, and in general, I think that's a better game. Obviously, this is Gen 9. There's a lot of new Pokemon. There is, regular battling. There's online. This is the Pokemon game. That was more, I know it wasn't actually a spinoff, but it was more single player focused, that kind of thing. Me personally, though, I did enjoy that game more. But Scarlet and Violet are very good. I wanted to play them for 65 hours in a week if I wasn't enjoying them. These games do... I hate to say it. I really do. I know I'm going to get hate for this. It feels like another half step. It feels like they're really close. They're really close to getting open world Pokemon right, doing what we want. But they just don't seem to be able to do it all the way. And that's not to say I don't want to come off as too negative. I do really enjoy the game. I really love these games. I love catching Pokemon, not as much as Arceus, but I love completing that Pokédex. I love playing through the story. There's some cool twists and turns at the end. I like the choose-your-own-path adventure kind of thing, even though they certainly push you in one direction. And overall, I really did enjoy playing these games, but it's hard not to see the glaring issues with a game like this. So I guess let's talk about those. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, and this is the hottest topic of debate in my comment section for some reason, because everybody is an idiot. Performance. I've played the game for 65 hours. I have the day one patch. We'll talk about that. The game runs awfully. I said it runs bad in that video. Like, I talked about that for like a minute or two. That was like, what, 20 hours in, I think? Not even. It's worse than I thought. The game runs really bad. Pokemon will pop in like 2 steps from you. Like, it's really bad. It's probably one of the worst performing games on Switch I've actually played. Certainly the worst performing first-party Switch game that I've played, which is sad. And I got comments saying too, like, oh, it's because the Switch isn't powerful enough. No, that's not the issue. Yeah, that doesn't help, sure, but Game Freak they didn't optimize it. They just didn't. Breath of the Wild runs fine. Or at least as fine as it needed to. A game like Odyssey, and I mean that's smaller worlds, but that runs fine too for Outland. Even Legends Arceus runs much better than this, like much, much better. You all will see on release day when you play this. But let's talk about that day one patch thing. I'm gonna go on a little rant because people in my comments don't understand what a day one patch is or how this works. People call it a day one patch because you download it the day the game is released. I got the game a week early. The patch was already in their servers, so I could download it. I'll put an image up on screen since people don't seem to believe me. I am playing with the day one patch. A day one patch is just something you download the day the game comes out. Now, I even mentioned this in the other video, so I don't know why I was getting so many comments about it. There is a chance there is a performance patch that will fix the game and make it run better on release day. There is a chance of that, and I really hope there is, because this game runs awfully. But for some reason, people are like, you can't have the day one patch. Bro, I'm playing the game. I know what I have. I know I've downloaded the patch. So I just wanted to clear that up. Day one patch, not exclusively something that is uploaded to their server on day one. Reviewers are playing the game right now. A company like Game Explainer or IGN, they have codes for the game, so they need to have that day one patch out early so that they can experience the game as intended. So while I hope there's a patch that actually does release on day one, there is a download I already downloaded, and the game still runs like crap with it. Recent example, I ran weird to bring this up in a video like this. Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I preloaded that game on my PS5. There was a day one patch 5 days before the game came out, and I didn't even have it early. So don't tell me what a day one patch is just because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, game runs really bad. Really hope they fix it, because that is overall the biggest issue with the game, in my opinion. It's bad. You will see for yourself when you play it, but it's bad. And obviously, you know, that will affect certain people differently. I'm not a huge, like, graphics snob, and I think the game looks nice. It's just that frame rate, man, and how the Pokemon will pop in really close to you. But obviously, that will affect people differently. For me, it's definitely an issue, and when I'm reviewing it critically, that's going to be the biggest issue. But that said, I still really enjoyed the game. So let's talk about the story and how they've done progression in this game. And then there's another negative here, I guess, that I want to talk about. So as you all know, this is the treasure hunt game where there's 3 different storylines that you do. There's the Titans, there's the Gym Pokemon League Challenge, and then there's the Team Star kind of raids that you do, or dungeons, or whatever the hell they're. The outposts. Ubisoft outposts is what they are. Each storyline kind of offers their own unique gameplay experience. So the Titans are your more traditional boss fights, like something like the Totem Pokemon in Sun and Moon, where you're fighting just a big boss Pokemon. And that's really cool because that's how you get like HMs, essentially. That's how you get like your fly, or not your fly, but like gliding and climbing walls. Then there's the Gym Challenge, which is your standard Pokemon trainer battles. And then there is the Team Star battles, which is you raid their outposts, and you can do the team auto battle thing where you throw your Pokemon out and they'll fight for you. So there's 3 different storylines. This has been also a huge point of contention. I don't really mind this, but I just want to point it out. So I talk about how they don't really let you go in any way you want. They kind of force you to do them in a specific order. You can't just do the Titan storyline. Otherwise, you're going to end up underleveled, basically, because there's no level scaling in this game. The Titan where that gives you the wall climbing, I won't say what it is, that Pokemon's always going to be level 45, right? So you can't do that early. If you somehow manage to get there first, before doing any other objective on the map, it's still going to be level 45. There's no scaling, which is fine. That's okay. You know, games don't scale. That's not really something they do. The issue is by introducing 3 storylines like this, you're inevitably going to have people like me, this is what I tried to do at first, who just wants to do a specific storyline and stick with that storyline. For me, I wanted to do the Titan storyline first. I liked Arven as a character. He's still far and away the best character in the game, in my opinion. Certainly the most developed. And I couldn't really do that because you end up being underleveled, and they basically force you, without forcing you, to go do like a Team Star battle or a gym battle. The gym battles are also incredibly crucial if you want to catch Pokemon, because it makes it easier to catch Pokemon based on what level they are, and it will allow Pokemon to obey you at higher levels. I got a lot of comments saying, oh, that's kind of good then, because then you can just have 3 different teams for the game. And while that's true, and it lets you play and have that choice, like a team for each storyline, they're cool. You're just imposing some self-imposed thing that makes no sense. That doesn't really do anything. That's like, oh, if you do a Nuzlocke, the game will be hard. I don't know. The difficulty in this game is weird. There are times, because I got to a gym too early, where I struggled, but then times where I went back to a gym or like a Team Star area and I completely wiped them out because I was level 50 and they were level 20, you know. So difficulty scaling is weird in this game. You shouldn't really have an issue with it. For the most part, I think they did a pretty good job, but I just wanted to talk about it because that's another like big point of contention on my last video, is that the level scaling, the lack thereof, is a little weird based on how the fact this game is basically the first open world Pokemon game with actual gyms and stuff. So a little weird, but I don't really mind it that much. It's just a little funky, but I don't really know how else they could have done it, to be honest. You know? Something I did not talk about at all in my last video was the Pokemon daycare. There is none in this game. I got a lot of comments about this. I have a tutorial ready to go on release day. So breeding is something that I like to breed. I'm a big fan of that. Got a couple funny jokes about that in the comments. So basically, breeding Pokemon is a little different in this game. You don't have a daycare where you put your 2 Pokemon in anymore. You do it all through your picnics. You can open up a picnic anywhere in the open world, and slowly over time, eggs will just appear in a basket. They kind of ruined it, but also kind of didn't. In a lot of ways, it's better than it was, I think. I believe the way it works now is you don't actually have to walk around for eggs to accrue, which is good. So, like, if I'm shiny hunting on stream, trying to hatch a shiny, starter or something, I can just leave my controller and the eggs will stack up over time. The issue is they stack really slowly. Eggs do not appear fast at all. I was in the tutorial I did. I think I'm actually gonna scrap that and redo it. But in the tutorial, I was gonna breed a Slacking because I needed Slack off for my Pokédex. It took 30 minutes real time for an egg to appear. The thing is, there is these sandwiches now that boost how fast an egg will appear. So basically, if you want to breed, you gotta use some sandwiches to make eggs actually appear. It depends on the Pokemon and how fast an egg will appear, but yeah, it's really weird. This is something that I'll probably change my opinion on once I mess with it more on stream. Initially, I gut reaction, I don't like what they changed about breeding. But I think once I do it more, once I tried all the sandwiches and all that, I think it'll be fine. But as someone whose post-game is primarily breeding in Pokemon, trying to get shinies and, competitive bred Pokemon, it was weird. It's a little scary, but you know what? Maybe it's a good change, and I will come to love it. I've also done way more raids now. I can't do these online, so my actual opinion on these will probably change also, but they're good. They're much faster than they were in Sword and Shield, and yeah, I like them. And you can get ingredients from these now. You can get, I believe, ability patches, which is crazy, from the 6-star raids. I have not done a 6-star raid yet, but yeah, I like the raids. Glad they're back. And it's nice that you can actually just see what type of Terra raid it is on the map. That'll just show you like, oh, I'm gonna go do a fairy type raid. Let me go to that, and then that's nice. I wish there was just a list, be a little bit easier, so you don't have to like traverse the map. Although maybe online, like if you're playing with friends, that's another thing I can talk about is multiplayer. I did a lot of local stuff with my girlfriend to just kind of try and test some stuff. If someone in your party basically makes a raid, you can just go to the post board or whatever in your menu in the Poke Portal and just click on it. So that's nice. You don't have to actually go to the physical raid. I mean, that's how it was in Sword and Shield, right? But so that's nice. But then, yeah, multiplayer is weird. I don't know if it's quite what people wanted, but now that I think about it, I don't really know what we wanted anyway. You can have 4 people in the world. You can do story in the world. You can hatch shinies in the world. You can catch shinies in the world. You can do mass outbreaks in the shared world. You can do all these things. I joined my girlfriend's world. I was able to do a mass outbreak for our Drifloon, which is exclusive to Scarlet. So you can basically do anything in multiplayer, which is really cool. But now that I'm really thinking about it, and I know it's like hypocritical because I was like all hyping up the multiplayer. I don't really know what you would want to do in a Pokemon. It's cool. It's cool to see your friends in your world. But outside of raids, that's really all you're going to be doing. I mean, to battle, you can't like walk up to them and press on their character and be like, hey, do you want to battle? You actually have to go to the menu anyway and still do it. Same thing with trading, which is, I think, a little disappointing. I guess those 2 things probably would have made it feel a little bit more alive. You actually just clip through the model. You just walk through them. Same with their Pokemon. There was also a lot of weird visual glitches where like we were doing a picnic together. You can do those together as well. And you can, your friends can like join your picnic and like their little lantern will pop up on the picnic table, which is cute. But there's been some weird glitches where like I had a Ditto out and she couldn't see the Ditto on her screen. And like another thing is weird, if your friend is battling a wild Pokemon, you can see that happen. You can actually see the animations for the move. But if they're battling a trainer in the overworld, you can't see that. Just some weird stuff, but regardless, it's just super cool that Pokemon has actual multiplayer now. I'm curious to see how it actually runs online. Obviously, this was all local, so there was basically no lag, but online, that might be a different story. We'll see. Up to 4 players, of course. I'm excited to do that on stream with you all, get some people in there, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then, since this is my review, one last thing I want to quickly talk on is just the actual new Pokemon. I think this generation has the strongest set of new Pokemon that any generation has had. Obviously, this is something that my opinion might change on once I really, really spend some time with them. Like, I'm talking years. But the new Pokemon introduced in this game are really cool. There's evolutions of old Pokemon. There's new Paldean forms. There's new There's new legendaries, there's a whole new thing. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff, cool designs, and I really like this set of Pokemon. I like this region. So yeah, I'm not gonna spoil new Pokemon in this video, but I really like the new Pokemon they've introduced in this game. There are a couple like that are like whatever, but overall I really enjoy them. With all that said, I think I am gonna end the review there. I think I was mostly negative in this video. I don't want to make it sound like I hate the game, because I really do enjoy it. But with Pokemon, it's one of those things like, oh, I love Pokemon for what Pokemon is. And this game is Pokemon. It doesn't really do anything that exciting or new other than just be open world. But I don't know. As somebody who loves Pokemon, this is one of the best Pokemon games I've played in a long time. It's not as good as Arceus, but outside of Arceus, it's definitely up there. So I enjoy it more than Sword and Shield, for example. I enjoyed it more than Sun and Moon, first time playing through. So I really enjoy this game, but that's more from me just being a fan of Pokemon at a core level, I think. So I'll be curious to see what reviews are like for this game and how the community reacts to it. I think a lot of people are going to love it. I think a lot of people are going to dislike it, and I think it's gonna be a mixed game. That's kind of how I feel about it. But me personally, I did really enjoy it despite my grievances with mostly the frame rate. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. I am very tired. I have been no-lifing this game. I'm gonna go take the fattest nap of my life, and by nap I mean 12 hours sleep. And then I'll wake up and I need to actually go finish up the Pokédex so I can have the Shiny Charm. I assume the Shiny Charm's in this game. I don't actually know yet. So with that said, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I'll be doing a lot of streams on release day. I'll be doing streams where I trade away the starters. If you don't have all of them, I'll be doing that. I'll be doing the other thing that's a spoiler. I'll be trading those out, the other exclusives. So subscribe here so you don't miss those. Until next time, folks, peace.